What up, LA Live Gang? This is your boy AC, and I'm back with another edition of LA Sports Live. As you guys come to the video, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out, and I really appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, if you just found it, brother, if you're out on YouTube searching and trying to find out information about Kyrie Irving, if you're trying to find out information about the Lakers, if you're trying to find out information about Russell Westbrook, Jeannie Buss, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, this is the place. Make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every day when I drop new videos here on YouTube. Now, you guys see the thumbnail, you see the title. No, the Lakers have not traded for Kyrie Irving yet. I repeat, the Lakers have not traded for Kyrie Irving yet, but I think it's coming. I think it's coming soon, man. I just wanted to come on live and give a shout out, a special shout out to my main man, Rob Pelinka. Rob, even though you was running and hiding when we went to Vegas, we couldn't find you. We saw who did we see? We saw Kurt Rambis, and I'm sure Kurt Rambis passed the word on to you, man, to get this deal done. So yeah, shout out to Rob Pelinka, man. Rob Pelinka, he's standing strong, he's standing firm. Um, he will not be punked by any team out there, specifically the Brooklyn Nets. He will not be punked. He will not be punked into giving out multiple first round picks for Kyrie Irving. This thing is quickly turning, I believe, into the Lakers' favor. Um, it's been pretty quiet. It's been pretty quiet the last couple days. Right before we went live, um, there was a notification that went out that the Brooklyn Nets may be considering keeping Kevin Durant. I repeat, there was a notification that just went out like within the last 15 minutes that the Brooklyn Nets are considering keeping KD because they're not really liking the offers that are being presented to them as far as deals for Kevin Durant. My personal opinion on that. Um, I always felt in the back of my head that when I saw the long laundry list of things, um, the treasure chest that the Brooklyn Nets wanted for KD, I never thought, number one, I never thought they would get it. I never thought they would get an All Star player. I never thought that they would get. Well, I put it like this: I didn't think they'd be able to get all this stuff that they're asking, for a myriad of reasons. But I just don't think they were. Yeah, Kevin Durant, he's a generational talent. Uh, you know, Definitely a top three, top five talent. Whatever you want to consider KD. But the fact of the matter is, he asked for a trade late. There were several players that actually he could have been traded for had their current team not extended those players. And so since the players like um the kid out of Phoenix, Booker, and a couple other players in the league, a lot of these teams locked up their young players, their young all-star players, um, right after free agency started. So that knocked, you know, that knocked Devin Booker out of the running for being traded for, as that was one of the locations that Kevin Durant wanted to go to. And there's a lot of other little things. A lot of players got locked up by their teams, and a lot of teams have spent up their money. A lot of teams have made other deals and sent draft picks here and there. Um, there could be some teams that maybe are kicking themselves because maybe had KD announced his trade request a few days earlier, before free agency started, that they may have been able to put together a decent package for Kevin Durant. But the way things are looking now, The reports are the Nets are just not really feeling the packages they're being offered for KD, and that they're strongly considering keeping him. Now, what does that mean for the Lakers and in their pursuit of Kyrie Irving? Actually, I think that's actually kind of good news, man, because um, it kind of looks like things are drying up. Um, the DeAndre Ayton situation in Phoenix has kind of uh, resolved itself. It appears that DeAndre Ayton will be staying in Phoenix, and he will not be traded. Hey, I heard they weren't interested in the Nets weren't interested in DeAndre Ayton anyway. Because I mean, they have a young, yeah. They just locked up their young big man. So, the report was they weren't really interested in Ayton. So I don't know, man. It looks like to me that the Nets are running out of options, and if they really want to move off of KD, if they really want to move off of Kevin Durant, they're going to have to take a subpar deal, because like I said, like I stated on this channel many times, this long laundry list of things that they were demanding for Kevin Durant, there ain't, it's just very few teams that have all these assets, and on top of that, the list is even shorter of those particular teams that Kevin Durant would even consider. And even if a team was to able to, meet the demands for Kevin Durant that the Nets want, it, that team might very well be gutted. And I know Kevin Durant, he still wants to go to a contender. He still wants to compete for a championship. He still wants to help lead his team to a championship. And you can't do that. It's tough doing that when you're the focal point, player. You're 33 years old, and you go into a new team, new situation, new coach, all that stuff. Oh, and by the way, the team is kind of gutted just to get you. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense either. Now, um, does that make does that make it more likely they just keep the two guys and make them be miserable there together in Brooklyn? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Brooklyn will make up their mind. Um, they'll probably let. Now it's kind of looking to me. I think they'll probably let the Kevin Durant situation go a little bit longer than what they originally had hoped, and hopefully, let me find some wood to knock on or something. Hopefully, they'll just sit back and realize that this KD situation is probably going to take a little bit longer than what they first um, what they had hoped or what they expected. I mean, I think that I think they thought teams would just be falling over themselves and willing to give up any and everything for Kevin Durant, and then by all accounts, by all reports, that's just not the case. It's just not the case. So you know, it's looking like more likely that KD might end up staying in Brooklyn. I don't think like I was gonna say, I think Brooklyn will just kind of reevaluate how they're doing things. And by all accounts, for the most part, the Brooklyn Laker deal is supposedly done in principle. Um the last couple of days I did see something interesting. I don't know if you guys saw it, the memes or whatever on Facebook or Instagram, and it was like a little meme of the supposed negotiations between the Lakers and the Nets. And it was like just like a snapshot. And I think, let's just say, the first offer for the Lakers for Kyrie Irving was um, Russell Westbrook, a first round pick, and Taylor Horton Tucker for Kyrie Irving and Seth Curry. And then let's say the Nets countered with um, Kyrie Irving and Joe Harris um, for Russell Westbrook and two first round picks, and it was like a couple rounds of back and forth. I don't know if you guys saw that post, but that was interesting. Now we have no idea. I don't think the negotiations looked exactly like that, but it could have been pretty similar. Because there's only so many moving parts that the Lakers have to work with as far as trading. They only have they only have, let's see, the players that are on the current roster. If you exclude Anthony Davis and LeBron James, they only have Taylor Horton Tucker. Who else? Kendrick Nunn, William Gabriel, Austin Reeves, and Stanley Johnson. Those are only players that they can trade. They can't trade anybody who's just acquired over this offseason. Um, I don't believe that they can trade those two. They can't trade those two-way players. So that's it. So you're only talking about a handful of guys that are actually available for trade by the Lakers, and we know their two biggest trade assets are the 2027 and 2029 first round pick. Um, so I think Rob's game plan going into this one is, by hell or high water, he does not want to give up two picks, two first round picks for Kyrie Irving. I really think that Rob is really standing firm, standing tall. The Lakers have gone, they've gone into this offseason with, a real serious game plan. And they're going in these negotiations with their poker faces, and I think they just kind of made up their minds. They're not gonna get punked. They're not gonna get raped by these other teams in order to make a deal. Matter of fact, Jeannie Buss stated that in her little interview that happened over the last couple of days or whatever. She clearly stated in that interview, and if you guys haven't read that, you should go check it out. She clearly stated that they're not going to make moves just to make moves. They're only going to make moves if they make sense, and that they're clearly going to help the bottom line with the Lakers. And when the Lakers say that they're willing to go into the season with Russell Westbrook on this team, I kind of believe them. I don't think that's their preference, by no means. I don't think that's their preference, but I do think that they think they can make this thing work with or without Russ. And I think that's part of the reason why we've heard head coach Darvin Ham, come out and talk, quite glowingly about Russell Westbrook and all the big plans he's got for Westbrook and this, that, and the third. And man, I really do believe that push comes to shove, they will keep him. They will always keep their ears to the streets and see if anything else comes up. But push come to shove, I think they will keep Russ. That's not something that I want to see. That's not something I'm hoping for, pushing for, or nothing. I want his ass gone, fast, quick. But at the same time, I don't want to see the Lakers make any irrational moves and make moves just for the sake of making moves, and perhaps make a dumb, stupid ass move. Because really what I think is the Lakers' game plan. And really what they really want to do is they want to make two moves, two trades, and I don't think, if they have to give up two first round picks in a Kyrie Irving deal, I think that will kind of kill um, the second deal. The second deals that they have cooking, which would probably be some sort of deal with Indiana involving Buddy Hield and or Miles Turner, specifically Buddy Hield, because Rob Pelinka has some kind of infatuation about with Buddy Hield, and Buddy Hield's cool. I mean, goddamn, he traded for him last season, but then they rescinded the trade. So um, we know Rob wants to get Buddy out of Indiana Pacers and to the purple and gold. That's just the bottom line. So I think that's why they really want to hold on to that second first round pick, man, because without that they might be they might be stuck because um I don't think the Pacers are going to trade Buddy Hield without a first round draft pick. That's just my opinion, but you never know. Might do us. They might do us a solid, and they might do us a solid, and do it without a first round pick. But I don't think so. So it's going to be interesting. Excuse me, guys. Going to be interesting. The next 48, 72 hours, man. Um, it's a big game of chicken. Which team? I mean, yeah, which team or which organization is going to blink first? Will it be the Lakers? Will it be the Nets? Um, I kind of have a, I kind of think, I kind of have a feeling, man, that we're going to hear. Um, the Nets are gonna. I'm not saying they're gonna fold or punk out, but I think the Nets. I think they don't want either one of these situations to drag on forever. Specifically, Kevin Durant. I don't honestly. I don't think they really give a shit if they lose Kyrie because they're just tired of his ass. But Kevin Durant, that's a different situation, and I kind of think maybe in the back of their heads, the Nets they may have some sort of deadline or some kind of hard date as to which look, if we don't get any traction on a KD deal by this date or whatever, or none of these teams up the ante for Kevin Durant, they just might go ahead and shut down. They might just go ahead and shut down Kevin Durant trade talks and uh, and decide to keep him for the time being, or at least they're going to probably publicly announce that, and just leave that narrative out there and um leave that leave that just like that, perhaps maybe um perhaps trying to influence whatever team that they may be looking at making a deal with, trying to make them panic and be like, hey, damn, we're missing out on KD. We better up the ante because Brooklyn's gonna stop answering phone calls. So it's all negotiation tactics or whatever. Even this story that I mentioned that probably came out about 30 minutes ago, that may be, like I just was just saying, that may just be a ploy by the Nets to try to squeeze, let's say, the Miami Heat, or to try to squeeze, let's say, the Toronto Raptors into putting their best foot forward, or even maybe even the Memphis Grizzlies putting their best foot forward in a possible KD deal. In the meantime, uh, Kyrie, Kyrie's, we just in a holding pattern. If you're a Laker fan, I firmly believe, I repeat, I firmly believe Kyrie's on the way, and it's just a matter of time. So, hey, shout out to Rob Pelinka, standing firm, standing tall, and making up his mind. Him and the Lakers organization, led by Jeannie Buss. Look here, man. We're gonna talk when this is all said and done, right? When this is all said and done, uh, when this off season, uh, when this off season is over, and we're gonna go into training camp and in the preseason and all that kind of stuff, man. We're gonna have to sit around and have and hopefully things fall the Lakers' way. But of course, we all know there's no guarantees. Kyrie ain't here yet, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. But when this dust settles, and if we do indeed, pull off one or two of these deals that's been being reported, we're gonna have to sit back and talk about uh have a serious conversation about the public perception of two people, and the public critiquing Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss, because if the Lakers front office are able to pull off one or two of these deals that they're being rumored and talk about, You know, some people gonna have to do some serious backtracking of all the crap they talked about Pelinka and Jeannie Buss, man, because as far as I can see, now you guys know that I called for um Jeannie Buss to get off her ass and do something this off season. I said, hey, hold on a minute, guys, hold on. All right, I think I'm back now. Like, yeah, I called for Jeannie to get off her ass and do something, make a move. Maybe bring in a new vice president of basketball operations. I think I dropped the name of Masai Ujiri, and what was the guy out of OKC? I just said you got to do something, man. This not this season, this past season with the LA Lakers is just totally, totally unacceptable. And you, as a leader, you have to get out there and do something. And she did. And she did. And it all started with that interview she did a couple months ago. And she's been in the news. She's been in the news, active, um, just doing things behind the scenes to show, number one, that the Lakers are going to try and to remain relevant. They will be relevant, and that they're fully committed to their superstar players, Anthony Davis and LeBron James, and that they're going to do whatever it takes to try to make this team competitive. And if you look at it, man, we're right in the middle. We're right in the middle of the mix. Um, of some serious deals on the horizon. And like I said, if they can pull off one or even maybe two of these deals, man, you're really gonna have to give Rob and the owner Jeannie Buss a lot of credit, because going into the off season, man, hey, they weren't looking too favorable at all. So, like I said, shout out to Rob, shout out to Jeannie. We're gonna go ahead and end this live stream. I got to get back to work, but I just wanted to jump on midday, holler at you guys, get my take on the situation. Um, I know I saw Trevor Lane. He had just dropped a video, but I purposely didn't want to watch it because I didn't want it to influence what I was gonna say. Because sometimes I just want to have my own thoughts. But one more thing I will say, man. One more thing I will say is, look, I think we got options here. I think we got options here as far as this Russ uh trade is concerned. Um, I looked at the salary cap situation, and based upon excuse me, moves that have been made the last couple of weeks, there's only two teams, excuse me. There's only two teams that actually has salary cap space available, who may be able to take on Russ, as we could trade for Russ, or they might even uh, may be able to absorb some of his contract costs. And those two teams are the Indiana Pacers and the San Antonio Spurs. And both of those teams have over $30 million in salary cap space available. So if there's a move to be made, it more than likely will be involving one of those two teams. As far as Russell Westbrook is concerned, I strongly believe so. But I'm gonna just preface that by saying, look, this is the NBA. Excuse me. This is the off season. Anything could happen. Anything could happen. But one thing for certain, two things for sure. I strongly believe Kyrie's on the way, and it's just a matter of time. when we get some more news on this situation, when we get some more news on this story, like I always say, I'll bring it to you guys here on LA Sports Live first. I like to be first if I can. Don't mean I'm the best, but goddamn, I like to be first. But anyway, it's your boy AC LA Sports Live. I appreciate everybody coming through live stream. Salute to everybody in the chat. Lakers over everything. Salute to you, my brother, and everybody else in the chat. I will rap with y'all later.